is Gomoseley Radio.
Visit GoMoseleyRadio.com and keep it on.
Time now for the news. With the news at this time, I am Keen Alonzo. President Irfan Ali will address the nation this afternoon at 5 o'clock from the Arthur Chung Conference Center. While details of the address have not been released, members of the diplomatic community, the business community, and the media have all been invited to sit in and watch the president's address in person. There are reports that the address is likely to center around the president's economic policy for the next 5 years. Snippets of that policy have been presented by the president at various events over the past few months since his re-election back in October. With the opposition pressing the president to keep his cash grant promise and many citizens hoping for that promise to be kept before Christmas, many are hoping that the address will hear announcement in relation to the cash grant. However, with the current buildup of U.S. military personnel in the region to fight the drug flow from Venezuela and the ongoing strikes on suspected drug boats and recent statements from Washington, the president's address could also possibly examine that issue. The office of the president remains tight-lipped on the address to the nation, which will be carried across the media. The Village Council of Kanapang has instituted legal proceedings against the state over what it sees as the unlawful arrest, detention, prosecution, conviction, and imprisonment of 27 Brazilians in violation of both domestic and international human rights laws. The Village Council is seeking redress for alleged violations against the Brazilian nationals. The Brazilian nationals were arrested on or about November 12, 2025 in the village of Kanapang, an indigenous community located in the North Pacaraímas, Region 8, and charged with illegal entry and illegal mining. But in a statement, the Village Council, through its attorney Darren Wade, alleged that officers of the Guyana Defense Force, the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission, and the Guyana Police Force entered the titled lands of Kanapang without its approval and without a warrant or notice, in breach of the Amerindian Act. According to the attorney, when the cases against the accused were first called in the Magistrates Court in November, a number of the Brazilians pleaded guilty and were sentenced to 6 months imprisonment, while the others were remanded. The pending matters have since been adjourned to January 29, 2026. However, Attorney Wade contends that the state did not provide the accused with appropriate translation services as required during the court hearings. Police prosecutor Mandel Moore has made an application for the gas station bombing case to be heard via paper committal in the Georgetown Magistrates Court. Moore made the application as the prime suspect, 33-year-old Venezuelan national Daniel Alexander Ramirez Puedemo, along with 3 of his co-accused, the 44-year-old Alexander Betancourt, 27-year-old Johnny Budram, and 33-year-old Crystal LaCruz, appeared before the court virtually from the prisons. Ramirez Puedemo and his co-accused are facing terrorism charges in connection with the bombing that claimed the life of a 6-year-old girl. A paper committal is a judicial process during which a magistrate determines if there is sufficient evidence for a case to proceed to a high court based solely on written statements and documentary evidence without an oral hearing. During the last hearing, Moore had informed the court that pieces of evidence from the deadly mobile gas station bombing had been sent to India for forensic tests, and the results would be available ahead of yesterday's hearing. With all of the documentary evidence now before the court, the attorney for co-accused Johnny Budram requested an opportunity to review the evidence before the court and file a defense statement. He was given up to December 30th to do so. And finally, international news. U.S. President Donald Trump has ordered a total and complete blockade of all sanctioned oil tankers entering and leaving Venezuela, a move that Caracas has denounced as warmongering threats. Trump wrote that Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro's government had been designated a foreign terrorist organization, which had also engaged in drug smuggling and human trafficking. His remarks come after the U.S. seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela last week, a move that was seen as significant given Venezuela's reliance on oil. The U.S. has also recently conducted deadly strikes on alleged Venezuelan drug smuggling boats and has significantly built up its naval presence nearby. And that's the news to the moment. Head on over to newssourcegy.com for the rest of the day's top stories.
Radio, the sound of now.
Ready to position your brand at the heart of the region's most influential energy event?